So the United States Postal Service is going to take first class mail as we know it, and they're going to change it into what is called the USPS Ground Advantage. And that's going to happen this summer. So we'll talk about that on the other side. So without any further ado, let's go. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is John from Flippin' Ain't Easy, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about a change that's coming to the United States Postal Service, and it's going to affect many resellers that ship first class mail. That's any package with the USPS that is, well, if you're shipping with eBay, 1 pound or less, or other sites, if you're buying labels for first class mail, it's 15 ounces or less. Now, USPS, don't ask me why they're making this change. I guess I'll go into my hypothesis at the end of the video if you kind of want to know what I'm thinking. But as far as the facts, let's get them out in front here first. USPS Ground Advantage, product and pricing simplicity, service reliability, affordable shipping solution. Now this was dated on the 10th of February, and it reads, United States Postal Service files with the PRC to streamline package options for customers and businesses of all sizes through new product offering, USPS Ground Advantage. Now, all we know is that this was filed last year for this change to get rid of first class as we know it. We do know that the USPS has touted that they have lowered rates for what's known as first class mail, which will be known as USPS Ground Advantage. And they have lowered prices by 7% and then 12% on other classes of packages. They've also touted the fact that the turnaround time for an item to be received went from 2 to 8 days to 2 to 5 days. So they're talking about lower prices. They're talking about streamlining the turnaround time for your item to arrive to your customer. And they're going to add, instead of up to 1 pound, if you're buying it through like eBay, for instance, they're actually going to make it up to 70 pounds. Now, I don't understand what the actual difference is between a Ground Advantage package, quote unquote first class package, that weighs 70 pounds and a USPS, what is known currently as a Parcel Select, which is sort of a way to ship large items with USPS without going priority mail and paying the high priority mail rates, as a way to be somewhat competitive with UPS and FedEx. So that's all we know for now. So come sometime this summer, we'll be touching on the details and what you're allowed to do, the pricing structure, if they have that out for everyone to see, and what it means for us resellers. So we still have a solid couple, 2-3 months before I'm sure that these will roll out. And why is this happening? I guess that's the question. Of course, if they're lowering prices on their lower end tier shipping, like in this case first class, making it Ground Advantage, they're lowering the prices like they stated they did last year, and they're increasing the turnaround time. Well, that means they're losing money on the actual package price, and that means that they're doing it in a more efficient manner. So to me, that's not free. Now, based on what I understand, and shout out to Mike, who and that's Mike Royal. I say it wrong all the time, but Royarl, who's sometimes in the chat, and Stefan, who sent me the initial information about the change. But Royal, or Mike, sent me a couple things that were quite interesting. There were a couple TikTok videos, and I really don't do TikTok much, but it had an employee speaking about some changes that were coming for the USPS employees. More specifically, those that are out in rural areas of the country that have a smaller crew base to work around, and they're going to be asked, according to what I was sent by Mike or Royal, who also is in the lives quite a bit, he sent me this, and it had some TikTok videos that was talking about how I guess it was an employee of USPS stating that the RRECS, which is the Rural Route Evaluated Compensation System, and that is a way that USPS figures out scheduling for their carriers. And they go in and they review the different maps and who they have working a certain route. And apparently some of these rural delivery drivers are going to be asked to work an extra day per week. So they're going to have one less day off. Some of them are. And they're going to be taking a $12,000 pay cut. And I guess some of the employees are thinking that by making this change is going to drive some employees away, some current USPS employees, and that will allow them to fill that void where they don't have employees by contracting out, which saves them even more money. Now, I've seen it before, worked in the corporate world. My own office got shut down because it was outsourced. And I can tell you that is saving money is definitely a way that these companies are trying to, secure their bottom line and to allow, 7% decreases in postage and quicker turnaround times with the package. But my only concern is, if you have a really good carrier, I was just talking to Keena the other day by email. Her and Mike were having some issues with the listing program on eBay, and she was telling me they can't really use UPS and FedEx because they're out in the middle of nowhere, so they rely on USPS. So if you have already a strain on those USPS delivery drivers or those carriers, then what is this going to do to folks like Keena and Mike who are out there and relying on only one carrier and really couldn't depend on running their business if they had to ship by UPS or FedEx, because it would just be darn near impossible for them to drop off and that type of thing, because some of these people like Keena and Mike are like 20-30 miles away from the nearest drop-off point, so they really rely on USPS. But I want to know your thoughts. What do you think's really happening here? Thanks to the two viewers, Stefan and Mike, who sent me this information, and it kind of was really eye-opening to me. Anytime that there's a change with USPS, it kind of is alarming, because if you're tinkering with the service that you use quite a bit, and that's First Class, and I want to know what's going on with it, and I really hope they give us more than, say, 30 days notice as to what's really happening with their rates. But if you like the video, if you found that this is somewhat eye-opening, maybe you knew about this already, but at least you know that the new service is USPS Ground Advantage. There will no longer be a First Class mail option after this summer. And stay tuned for more information on this channel, and I'm sure other channels will cover it as well, for more specifics once it's released on this service. So hit the like button if you enjoyed the content. Of course, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. So if I go live, like we're going to do today, later on today at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, then hit that notification bell so you can be notified. Well, with eBay, change is constant, and we're going to have to get used to it. And of course, in this case, it has nothing to do with eBay. It's USPS, and many of you are affected by it. So stay tuned, but just know you can't control this, and you're just going to have to roll with the punches. But yet, it's another example of how sometimes in this business, flipping ain't easy. And I want you guys to have a great rest of your day. Tune in later today if you're watching this video on Monday, and join us for the live at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, and we'll see you then. More specifically, some of the rural, I say rural wrong all the time, but whatever, the USPS employees that are in the rural areas, and I cannot say the word rural to save my rural life, but it's okay. But if the USPS employees that are out and about in, the East 40 or the North 40 or whatever you call it. Heck, I'm having a hard time on this video, guys. but it's these employees that aren't working in a city environment or working in a large crew, and it is the RRECS, RRECS, this RRECX, scratch all that.